With this month getting a lot more better and better with the amount of cartoons I've been reviewing lately, it's time to get back to Danny Phantom. The last time I talked about this show was during Cartoon Crisis 2 of last year, but for this, I'm gonna be reviewing one of the 1 hour specials from Danny Phantom. And the special I'm gonna be reviewing is Rainstorm from the second season. Let me just say, for the amount of times that we've seen the villains from the show, mainly from the first season, and then when we get to see the villains team up with Danny Phantom, it was literally the only thing I remembered throughout the entire special upon watching it as a kid. But rewatching this special years later, I can guarantee you that it just keeps getting better and better, especially of how much the second season is a major improvement over the first season. Let's go talk about the beginning of this special. Vlad goes into the ghost zone to get the Rain of Rage where he can use it for his own power, but apparently it awakens Pariah Dark, who is the antagonist in this entire special. And with Vlad completely unlocking him thanks to the skeleton key, his reign of power causes all of the ghosts to be released from the ghost zone and wreaking havoc in Amity Park. And as this special continues, Pariah Dark's reign becomes a lot more dangerous as he takes over Amity Park. Not to mention of the fact that he has very powerful abilities unlike any other ghost that Danny has faced in the past. This is one of the most physical specials I've seen from Danny Phantom, and even though that this is probably the third special I'm reviewing involving multiple villains teaming up together, first, the Christmas special, if that actually counts, the Cartoon Crisis review that I did, Girls Night Out, last year, and now this. It honestly feels like I want to review everything from this show, but at the same time, I'm only reviewing the essential points of what makes this special really memorable. But on the other hand, I can understand onto why every villain from past episodes are in this episode, mainly the fact that Vlad released a very strong antagonist from its sleeping. It's honestly really impressive to actually think that Danny Phantom is dealing with a huge serious situation that can cause the whole city of Amity Park into, let's just say, into ghostly destruction. That probably didn't make any sense, but at the same time, this is Danny Phantom we're talking about. The pacing in this special is on key, completely on key. It knows how to deliver the serious moments while also deliver the jokes at the same time, especially with the amount of subplots that this special has. Valerie in this special, her development in this special is a lot more different compared to the episodes she appeared before and after, because she is part of Danny's love interest in this show. And considering that I reviewed Lucky in Love, which I'm totally aware it had a lot of infamy back then, I'm pretty sure that her character is basically upgrade compared to the other love interest that Danny had in Lucky in Love. With her motivations being told by Vlad by taking down the ghosts in the corrupted Amity Park, I'm pretty sure that her development is obviously just trying to get what she wants by doing her own thing instead of doing the other people's thing like what Danny is doing in this special. And for how much Tucker and Sam are against this, I'm really thinking that they did this plot before, but they decided to redo it again just to make it a lot more better, just by doing a different character that Danny has a crush on. I mean, let's be honest. We all know that Danny and Sam are gonna be together at the end, since I did saw the final minutes of this show. So it's really no surprise that Valerie just ends up going with no one afterwards. Granted, I could be wrong, but still. Getting back to Pariah Dark in this special, he's really menacing, since that he's the strongest ghost before any of the ghosts became a thing. If there was a way that he was actually something that Danny just hasn't learned until now instead of earlier in the series, it will probably make his development in this episode, or special in general, mostly misused. Mainly the fact that we just already know who this person is. And even though that giving a backstory towards an antagonist in episodes before this is a good idea, but having a backstory in the same special is actually a unique idea to give the special more of originality when it comes to taking risks and making the antagonist really menacing. It's somewhat impossible to actually make a backstory nearly perfect if you didn't build up the character, but considering that Danny Phantom actually made Pariah Dark a really unique villain by having him only appear in this special and only appear later on as the series continues, you can actually tell that Pariah Dark is actually a lot more different compared to the other ghosts, because in other ghosts, they're mostly stereotypical people who are just into rock and also other genres, but with this character, he's like the combination of one of the strongest ghosts from the show, and the fact that he actually has the power to change Anime Park to his own world. It's just really amazing to actually think that he managed to do all this all because he was released. And considering that he managed to make the Fright Night really menacing compared to his debut episode, he really knows how to make the stakes much more higher when he's outside of the ghost zone. It's impressive to think that, aside from all the other villains, he made the Fright Night a really good villain to have some kind of a purpose, especially that he's a secondary villain in this special. As we get into Danny's cooperation with Vlad in this, I'm pretty sure that this is pretty much one of the best collaborations when it comes to a hero and villain teaming up. I did remember that I've watched the season 1 episode where Vlad makes his appearance for the first time. And considering that he has no other option other than just teaming up with Danny while also manipulating Valerie while wearing the Reign of Rage, he's honestly really demented to the point that he just can't be able to do what's right for himself while also just making everything worse for everyone else around him. I know there are tons of villains in the show that I just can't pick because I don't remember them that much, aside from Amber, but when it comes to intelligent villains, Vlad is definitely on the top of the list when it comes to ranking villains from the show. The fact that he manipulates people, not to mention that he has to team up people despite of what he despises, I actually think that that's something that a villain don't usually do when it comes to serious situations, and believe me, it's rare to see a hero and a villain teaming up together, and I do like that so much. It's one of the prime examples onto why I enjoy Danny teaming up with the other ghosts that he faced in previous episodes to go against the main antagonist in this entire special. Without it, this special will probably be mostly mediocre without the appearances of so many ghosts that Danny had come across in previous episodes. Even though that they shrug it off once they got the offer from Danny the first time, but let's be honest. If you're in this situation, no matter who you are, you have no other way to get back home, and you need to help the other person that you're mostly against. So I actually found the final minutes of this special really memorable, all because of the fact that the villains just want to stay in the ghost zone where they belong. Granted, their development as the series continues are mostly questionable, but at the same time, this is still a great moment throughout the entire series. And for how Vlad sealed Pariah Dark forever, thanks to the same key that he had from before, it really makes this ending a lot more wholesome, which is a word that I don't usually use that often. There's really nothing else to talk about in this special other than the rivalry of Dash and Danny in this. Through the majority of the subplot, they just keep messing with each other while Danny pulls pranks on him thanks to his ghost powers. I think that for how this is easily resolved with them just doing the same thing again and again afterwards, this is mostly filler. I'm not saying that Dash is unmemorable. In fact, I can understand that he's supposed to be different compared to Francis from very apparent, but on the other hand, I really think that his presence in this special is just bound to filler. I know that every single bully can't be normal friends with other people in school. It's something that it's supposed to happen in real life, but the thing is, for how this is executed in a 44-minute special, along with other subplots, along with the main plot taking into place, this is mostly filler. The one time and pacing in this is good, but with this, it just keeps it away from being perfect. I understand that this is supposed to be something that Dash can contribute in this show, but at the same time, with him being part of this 44-minute special and the fact that he accepted an apology from Danny by hanging his underwear along with him up to a flagpole while giving him a wedgie in the process, it just makes most of this mostly worthless, if you ask me. Granted, it didn't really physically ruin my enjoyment from this episode, but at the same time, it's just there. And that's literally one of the only times I can say to subplots that are just mostly there and nothing more. It's one thing to follow the rules of school to not do bullying, but it's another thing when you don't do much with the characters that you have to work with. But other than that, I really enjoyed this Danny Phantom special regardless. I recommend watching this special if you're new to the series. Even though that you need to keep up with most of the villains in this show, mainly Vlad, but if you see these villains for the first time, if you watch this special first, you might be interested in to see most of the episodes that they appear in. Granted, it could be the other way around, but at the same time, it's your choice to watch which episode you want to see first, even if you rather binge watch the whole series. I give this special a 9 out of 10.
Let's get this started again. Me and my whole crew, we live with no rules. Let's get this started again. So if you feel like me too, there's only one thing to do. Let's go. Pay down, call the taxi cab. Got a case in the fridge and a bottle at the crib. Let's all get twisted, double fisting, drink up no resisting. Let's get this started again. Let's get this started again. Let's get this started again.